You're never going to be able to dig yourself out of a hole if you keep digging. And a lot of the advice around high interest rates with car buying and bad credit situations kind of point to, hey, essentially just move money around. I'm continuing on an interesting conversation that was on Ask Car Sales a little bit ago, where somebody came in and they were asking the collective, like, hey, my interest rate is upper 20s. Clearly, they have to be violating usury laws, which that's its own bucket. And they're charging me $6.20 per day or some kind of outrageous per diem. A per diem is the amount of interest charged daily on the loan. And so that's why we get what's called a 10-day payoff, where on any simple interest loan, you're being charged incrementally day after day that fixed amount based on the annual percentage rate of the loan, right? So we're kind of trying to bounce back, like, all right, what's the situation? What's the circumstances here? And I kind of threw out there the notion of, why did the bank call you and just randomly share this information about your per diem with you? Are you behind on payments? There was no answer. So my spidey sense, of course, is like, all right, so you're not paying your car note. Something's going on in the situation. And another person had advised, well, go take a personal loan and just have a co-buyer to bury you out of it. And yes, but no, because all you're doing in that scenario is moving money around and moving accountability around. Where when somebody else chimed what was probably the right pathway forward, which is to really push and either get a second job, figure out a way to improve their financial situation so they could reduce the principal of the loan and make additional payments, the poster was like, oh, no, I'm not interested in doing that. And that is the true solution to these situations. And that kind of leads itself to the other half of this video is, okay, high APR, no, it's not predatory if you have a ton of data points that indicate that you're not going to pay your bills. That's how you got there in the first place. And you're not going to solve it by trying to move the finances around. But also, when should you co-buy a vehicle for somebody else or cosign in a situation parallel to what the front end of this was, right? And the answer is probably, honestly, truly never, unless you are willing to take full responsibility and accountability for the balance owed. Because that is what it means to be a cosigner. That's what it means to be a co-buyer. That's what it means to be the second signatory on anything. It's not a just in case. It's not a like, oh, I'm just helping them, which a lot of people kind of have a misunderstanding of just how much of an obligation that being that cosigner, that co-buyer is. You are also agreeing to pay the vehicle in full. And so on the scenario I was outlining a moment ago, like, the bank is unwilling to loan this person money without a massive premium charge in the form of a higher APR, because they have enough information to see red flag. And we're already seeing indications that the reason that the bank was concerned was a valid position to take, right? So to put your boyfriend in that position, to put your significant other in that position, it does a disservice to your relationship, and it's not a good circumstance for either person, because if the relationship falls apart, the boyfriend is still on the hook for the situation. If the person just runs off with the car and does whatever, you're still on the hook as a co-buyer and a co-signer. Are there situations and circumstances that it makes sense to be a co-buyer? Sure. If you're willing to purchase a vehicle for somebody else. And there are situations that totally applies, right? If you're a parent and you have a really good, like A student who's very diligent, very responsible, does the things that they're supposed to do, and you want to help give them a leg up in the future and help them build a solid credit history and kind of transition into adulthood, but that, if something were to fall through, you would be able to help support and provide for them. Absolutely. Sure, there are plenty of parents who are happy to do so for their kids. As long as you get some clarity and make sure that if there's something that they're not making their payments for some reason, that you know about it before it circles back. Same with a spouse, same with any scenario where you're genuinely fine with taking on the full obligation and taking on that picture, then yeah, great, move forward. You can co-buy. But in any other scenario, especially a situation like that one before where even the bank doesn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, you shouldn't be doing it either. And for the person who is over obligated, your solution isn't trying to move it all. It isn't trying to manipulate your way out of the circumstances. It is to just do what you can to pay down that principal. All right. Good luck and happy shopping.